So today was supposed to be this massive shut down the system moment. No work, no school, no shopping. Basically, press pause on the entire country. Yeah, about that. Because what you're about to watch isn't a revolution. It's what happens when people try to boycott a system while depending on it for literally everything.
Share this live stream, smash the like button. You see police blocking, trying to stop the protesters from getting over the fence. They're chaining themselves to the entrances of the Wall Street Stock Exchange. Entrances being blocked by protesters, and they're jumping over the fence right here. You see shirts that say workers over billionaires, and right there you see them chaining themselves to entrances and exits of the Wall Street Stock Exchange where Wall Street traders work. And right now there's more protesters and security and police.
All right.
Share this live stream, smash the like button.
So this is Wall Street. And the plan, jump fences, chain yourself to buildings, stop the machine. Now I want you to really think about this. You're protesting capitalism by showing up in clothes you bought, using phones you didn't invent, live streaming on platforms built by the very system you're trying to shut down. It's like trying to cancel your gym membership by moving into the gym. And notice something else. You know, they say workers over billionaires. But the second things get uncomfortable, guess who shows up? Police, structure, order, the same system that they claim to hate. It's so funny how that works. But New York, it wasn't even the main plan. This was coordinated for sure, organized and funded.
No work, no school, no shopping. That is the call this May Day. It was the same 140 years ago when workers won the 40-hour work week. May Day is a celebration of working people fighting back. In 1886, thousands of meatpacking workers went on strike in Chicago. It spread like wildfire across the nation, with 500,000 people going on strike. They're facing horrible conditions, brutal repression, but that did not stop them. They won. This is our history. May Day is a reminder that what we need is never given to us. We have to fight for it. We're all part of that history. We're all part of that movement. So get out here this May Day, get organized. Together we can win a California for the people, not the billionaires.
The people, not the billionaires.
No work, no school.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? This wasn't just random people waking up mad. This was organized like a rollout, for sure. Hundreds of groups, billions in backings, nationwide coordination. And the message, stop everything. Let me translate that for you real quick. You know, I'll come through with the translations. Let's test what happens if society just doesn't function. Here's the problem, though. The people pushing this message, they're not the ones who suffer when things stop. It's regular folks. It's small businesses. It's parents trying to figure out childcare. But sure, shut it all down. That'll show somebody. And if you thought to stop that protest, nope. They brought this energy straight into the schools.
It is May 1st. It's May Day. And it's also May Day protests. They're calling it May Day Strong, where millions of people across America will participate in these protests. They're calling for an economic blackout, no work, no school, and no shopping to protest Donald Trump and the billionaire takeover.
Yeah, this is overall the biggest story is the whole Democrats feel that way. This is a version of socialism, communism. That's what they're doing. I mean, they celebrate this in China and Russia. Now they celebrate it because that's the Democrats. They feel as though the problem in America are rich people.
Yeah, this is a direct result of what's happening on the college campuses, even in high school, where they're teaching these kids not that if you grew up in poverty, you can make it in this country, get a good job, get a good education from the ground up. They're taking, you can just steal it from the people that did the hard work and have wealth redistribution. And there's a whole list of candidates. It used to be just Crazy Bernie. Now, Crazy Bernie has a whole squad of people that support it.
500 events, New York City, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, Minneapolis. Tax the rich, no ICE, no war. No school, no work, no shopping. That's the goal.
It's right here.
Proud.
It's right here. This is wild. School districts canceling classes so kids can go protest. Rewind this about 5 seconds and hear that again. Seriously. We went from education is falling behind to let's pause math and reading so we can hold signs. And then people wonder why test scores look like they're on airplane mode. Look, nobody's saying people can't have opinions. But when classrooms turn into staging grounds for activism, you're not teaching kids how to think. You're teaching them what to think. And somehow that's supposed to be progress. Now, to understand why they're so passionate about this, I think it's important for you to hear how they're framing it.
Organizers are putting their progressive message front and center on this Friday, and they say they want to see higher taxes on the rich. Tax the rich. ICE abolished and wars opposed. Those are some of the rallying cries behind today's protests that our critics are now saying are flat out un-American. So these May Day walkouts and staffing issues are disrupting schools, our kids' educations, especially in blue states and cities like Madison, Wisconsin, like Chicago. Out in North Carolina, more than 20 districts are affected by these protests. One Wisconsin mom says this is more than just a day off.
I'm in shock. Although maybe I shouldn't be considering the history of the Madison Metropolitan School District, but they are turning schools into political staging grounds, and this is where they have crossed the line. They are not just indoctrinating the kids in the classroom, they are encouraging actively for students to leave the classroom and go march in the streets with teachers, with administrators.
The Chicago Teachers Union already pushing for a full day off for students. Here is the message that I put out there, quote, "We are not living through ordinary times. His agents are tear gassing our neighborhoods, are talking about Donald Trump. Our students have something to say, and we as educators have a responsibility to speak up and support them in finding their voice, their vision, their agency, and their place in the community." They're talking about your kids. Our senior correspondent, Mike Tobin, is in Chicago waiting for these protests to kick off. Hi, Mike.
And this is where it's going to start, Aisha. You can see some people are showing up already with pop-up tents and some of their pickets that they're going to carry through these demonstrations, ultimately marching into Chicago's loop. It's a big day for the American left, advocating everything from the Democratic Party to socialism. You got some 600 groups, including communists, with a $2 billion budget that are funding some 3,000 protests. Now, here in Chicago, the very powerful Chicago Teachers Union had advocated for the day off of school so the students could attend these rallies. The superintendents of schools shut that down, but struck a compromise to provide school buses at the end of the day so the students could attend these rallies.
This is just a move of the political left, and the unions are really a political party. They're a left-wing political party in Chicago and other major cities.
It's absolutely absurd, and it really speaks to the distraction that the teachers union is bringing into classrooms. This really amounts to a state-sponsored protest at the end of the day.
Now, acknowledging that 1 out of 5 CPS 8th graders can read at grade level, and 4th graders, you've got 1 out of 4 that are up to speed across all of the curriculum. The students were in school today, but the curriculum was changed. According to Channel 5, the curriculum includes social justice and transgender rights classes all the way down to kindergarten level. Now, here at Union Park, where it's supposed to get started, we don't really have any crowds started yet, but wait till school gets out and the buses start rolling. Aisha?
Okay, Mike Tobin live for us in Chicago. Mike, thank you very much. Here at Fox News, we've been doing some deep researching, and it reveals that the size and scope of the organizing power behind today's May Day protests, about 600 groups with a combined annual revenue $2 billion involved in all of this. And that includes the Democratic Socialists of America. They're pumping money into it, along with the People's Forum, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, Answer Coalition, and Code Pink. We've all seen those protesters on Capitol Hill. Now, some of those have ties to communist China. The economic cost of their calls for no school, no work, no shopping could total somewhere between $2 billion.
See, this is the part that they lean on. History. Strikes, movements, workers fighting back. And listen, nobody's denying that history matters, but there's a difference between fighting for better conditions and trying to flip the entire system because you don't like the outcome. Back then, people wanted opportunity. Now, it sounds more like people want control over the outcome. That's not the same thing. Not even a little bit. And, let's say, after all that buildup, after all the speeches, organizing, and hype, they hit the streets.
Hey, what do we do? Hey, what do we do? Hey, Donald Trump, you racist clown. Hey, Donald Trump, you racist clown. Hey, you're not welcome in this town. Hey, you're not welcome in this town. Hey, Donald Trump, you racist clown. You're not welcome in our town.
Yo, this is the energy. Chants, rhymes, marching through D.C. And look, protest is part of the country, always has been. But listen to what they're actually saying. It's not solutions, it's slogans. Slogans feel good until you realize they don't fix anything. You can chant all day, but at some point, somebody's going to build something. Or got to, at least. Not gonna. They got to build something. Hold on. Excuse me. Y'all know we're allergic to the BS around here. Now, here's where everything flips. Because after all that noise, all that coordination, ooh, something happened that nobody planned for. Y'all, if I can do this with one hand.
Citizenship is under attack.
Womp womp. Apparently, this is Trump trolling the protesters. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this might be the most unintentionally perfect moment of the entire day. You've got this massive protest, microphones, chants, speakers, then completely drowned out. No speech, no message, just rotor blaze. It's almost poetic. For real. You know, all that effort to be heard, and the loudest thing in the sky said, nah. And here's the part that, you know, of course, nobody wants to admit. For all the talk about shutting down the system, that helicopter, that schedule, that movement, didn't stop for a second. Nope. You know, that last clip, man, it's not just a funny moment. That's the whole story in one frame, if you ask me. You got people on the ground trying to stop something bigger than them, and above them, something that doesn't even acknowledge that they're there. And that's the part that people miss. Because this isn't really about one protest or one day. It's about mindset. There's this belief that if you gather enough people, chant long enough, you can force reality to bend, you know, to whatever you want. But reality doesn't move like that. Systems don't collapse because you refuse to participate for a day. They collapse when the people inside them stop knowing how to build, maintain, and ultimately carry them forward. Yeah, man. That helicopter didn't slow down, didn't reroute, didn't circle back, didn't hit anybody out. It just kept going. That's how power actually looks in motion. Not loud, not emotional, not performative. Just keep moving. And if you don't understand that, you end up spending all your energy trying to interrupt something that was never waiting for your permission in the first place. So, yeah, they showed up. They marched. They made noise. But at the end of the day, the sky stayed loud and the ground stayed exactly where it was. So, if you made it to the end of this video, if you made it this far, I want you to type ground level. Because some people are watching this from the street and some people are watching this from above. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.